Taylor Parker looked like a happy, expectant mom with her boyfriend Wade Griffin. The couple, living in New Boston, Texas, about 160 miles northeast of Dallas, hadn't been together long when she told him she was pregnant. Their baby girl would be born in September 2020. It was all a lie. Parker was unable to have children after a hysterectomy, a fact she never told her boyfriend. Nonetheless, she started buying baby clothes. She wore a fake pregnancy belly. She convinced a friend to host a gender reveal party. Suspicious, Griffin's family watched the calendar as her due date approached. When it passed, Griffin confronted her. Rather than confess, she committed a heinous crime, which landed her on Texas's death row. Netflix's true crime documentary, Maternal Instinct, now streaming, traces Parker's numerous lies and grisly actions. Here is what you should know about Parker and her case. In 2019, Reagan Simmons Hancock, 20, was looking for a photographer for her wedding to Homer Hancock. She hired Taylor Parker, who had started taking photos as a side job, and the two hit it off. The day of the wedding, it didn't feel like she was just some random stranger none of us had ever met, Simmons Hancock's sister Emily Shirey says in the 96-minute documentary. Almost felt like she was a bridesmaid at one point, because she was in all of our selfies. Simmons Hancock and Parker remained friendly even after the wedding. In 2020, Simmons Hancock became pregnant with her second child. Parker said she was pregnant too. Not long before Simmons Hancock was due, she and Parker spent time together, and Parker said she would be induced the next day. Reagan felt like Taylor was probably overwhelmed with everything, Simmons Hancock's mom, Jessica Brooks, says, and she was trying to be that one person there for her when nobody else was. The next day, Parker returned to Simmons Hancock's house, where she killed the expectant 21-year-old mother and extracted her unborn baby. Simmons Hancock's young daughter was still in the house. Parker then attempted to pass the baby off as her own but ended up calling 911 from her car when the baby wasn't breathing. Pulled over by police, she told authorities she had just given birth, pleading to be taken to the hospital. She even inserted the baby's umbilical cord into her pants. Doctors at the hospital quickly determined that Parker had not given birth and took her into custody. Simmons Hancock and her daughter, whom she planned to name Braxlyn, did not survive OB/GYN drive. Christopher Mason became emotional during his testimony in the case, thinking of Parker's disregard for Simmons Hancock. It had to be extremely painful, Mason says. I would not know how anybody could ever do that. A jury convicted Parker of capital murder in 2022 and sentenced her to death. She lost an appeal in November 2025. And in May 2026, the Supreme Court declined to review her case. Parker is currently imprisoned, awaiting her execution at Patrick L. O'Daniel Unit in Gatesville, Texas, approximately 42 miles west of Waco. As the youngest woman on death row in Texas, Parker told Wright she was known as the baby, because she's everybody's kid's age. She remains one of 7 female inmates who've been sentenced to death in Texas. According to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, her execution date has not yet been scheduled.